Hi, everyone. My name is Renee Lucas. I'm the Engagement Operations Manager for the BWC, and today I'm going to take you through the submission process for our gender and racial wage gap measurement process. So to start here, I'm going to take you through how to fill out the spreadsheet and then the uploading process and then any troubleshooting. So this will be our fifth gender and racial wage gap measurement process, and we're really excited this year to bring a few new features that will allow us to get a deeper look at some of the gaps in Greater Boston, and we can see where the progress is from different metrics. So let's get started. So here is our spreadsheet. So on May 8th, you're going to receive an email from the BWC with a few different things. One will be the spreadsheet, and it'll include just the different variations of links and links to upload, links to submit, and as well as some contact information for us too. And this spreadsheet is available on our website currently, so you can practice with it, or if you feel ready after watching today's video, you can go ahead and fill it out ahead of time. And all that you have to do is save it as an Excel and make sure to save. That's a really key word. And then on May 8th, when you get this email from the BUC, all you have to do is just upload it then. So this first page just refers to ways to get help during the submission process. You can reach out to us at any time, using our team@thebuc.org email, and we'll also have a few different ways during the weeks of submission for you to reach out to us too and get immediate responses from us. So moving on to the first tab. This is the number of employees. So if you're taking a look at this, you can see that this first page looks a lot like an EEO-1 form, if you've ever taken a look at that. Now, when we started this back in 2015, we wanted to be sure that employers who had experience using EEO-1 forms would feel comfortable doing this. We have a really large group of compact signers, and certainly a lot of them would have experience doing it in the past. And for those who, may have smaller organizations or don't have experience using an EEO-1 form or any EEO form, we wanted to be sure that this is as easy as possible to fill out too. And if your organization does use a different EEO form, we do have a crosswalk available on our website that you can use to help kind of translate those job categories. But to start off, this collection, everything you want is to be done in aggregates. So no averages for anything. So I will always be tallying up, any information I have for each of the cells. And as well, you want to remember that everything is done as a snapshot of December 31st, 2022. So we don't want it, as a full year. You're not looking at anything like that. It's just a snapshot of that day. So, for example, if you had employees who were hired on January 1st, you're not going to include them because it's December 31st. Whereas if you had employees who were let go on January 1st, you still would include them. So we can get started. So this first tab is looking at number of employees, and this is all full-time employees who are employed by a compact signer organization on December 31st, 2022, excluding seasonal employees. And employees should be recognized as full-time by your company, with most companies using the minimum number of hours when employees are entitled to full benefits as the threshold. So we don't have any minimum requirements for full-time. Some organizations have 40 hours or some do 32. It's whatever is up to your organization internally. And we're also asking you to include any remote employees, no matter where they live, to be included as well, as long as they are full-time and report into a Greater Boston office. So today I'm going to start just one of the first few features we're really excited to share this year is non-binary. So this is an alternative gender category that we're including. So you can report in any non-binary employees here as well. And this is the same throughout all tabs on the spreadsheet. But for my organization today and for today's training, I'm going to do kind of a fake organization, and I can show you how to upload. So my organization, we have one Hispanic female CEO. So I will put a 1 in there. I have 2 white male professionals, so I'll scroll over, and because I have 2, I'm going to enter 2 into the cell. Like I said, you're not doing an average or anything like that. It's just aggregated data. And now I also have 1 Black non-binary sales worker. So I'm just going to shift over, and then I'll put a 1 in for them. And for here, you always want to be sure that if you don't have any information for a certain cell, you just want to leave it as 0. You never want to put, not available or any dashes or characters like that. Just remember to leave everything as 0, as it's already put in place by the spreadsheet. And now we're going to move on to the compensation tab. So this is compensation defined as W-2, box 1, wages, tips, and other compensation earnings for 2022, inclusive of base and overtime pay as of December 31st, 2022. If you have employees who haven't worked for the whole year, then you want to annualize their earnings, and you don't want to include performance pay as it's going to be submitted onto the next tab. So for my organization, our female CEO, she made $140,000. So I will enter that in. Our two white male professionals together made $160,000. And then our Black non-binary sales worker, they made $70,000. So it's also important to remember that there's a few checks built into the system. You can kind of see them up here for instructions. So on this, if I was just not paying attention super well, or I had so many employees and I kind of just forgot, I held my hand down on my mouse for a little too long, I entered something like that for my CEO, the cell is going to turn yellow. So this is just indicating that the compensation entered seems a little high. Now you can still submit with that. Certainly some organizations or some job categories do get paid a lot of money, and that is correct. So you can submit with that, but it's just encouraging you just to take another look. So of course, I know that I made a mistake then, so I will just re-enter her salary as it should be. And now we're going to move on to performance pay. So for performance pay, it's defined as any type of cash bonus paid out in 2022, regardless of when earned, and including W-2 earnings for 2022. And, bonuses that were earned but not paid out until 2023 should not be included. So it's anything that was just paid out in 2022. So for our organization, our CEO earned an additional $50,000 in performance pay. My two white male professionals, unfortunately, did not earn anything in performance pay, but my non-binary sales worker did earn some performance pay in the amount of $30,000. Now, it's also important to remember that in performance pay, there won't be an error if you don't include anything. So if, none of my employees made any additional cash bonuses, you can see my two white male professionals did not, it's not going to have a problem with the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is built to know that not all job categories allow for performance pay. So you can leave the cell as 0 and it won't notice anything different. You'll still be allowed to submit. So now we're going to move on to our last tab, and that is tenure. So that's length of service with an employee's start date with the company and December 31st, 2022, rounded to the nearest month. So you want to always be sure to round it up to the nearest month, and just remember that it's months and not years. So, if you had a person who had started with the organization, it was 6 months and 3 weeks, you would round up to 7 months. If it was 6 months and 1 week, you would round down to 6. So for our organization, my CEO has been with the company for 5 years, so I will enter 60 in for her. Together, my two white male professionals have been with the organization for 48 months. And then my sales worker, they have been with the organization for 1.5 years, which is 18 months. So now I'm going to take a look and save my spreadsheet, and I'm going to check the data. So this first page, you can see that we have a few different ways to check that is built into the spreadsheet. So we have a totals check and a matching check. So the totals check is essentially just looking at the total number of employees and just making sure that it makes sense. Just kind of a quick glance to make sure that the numbers are correct and everything sounds good. So I have 1 female employee, 2 male, and then 1 non-binary. So a total of 4 employees, and that is correct. Now, my next check is the much more intensive check, I would say, and this is the matching check. So you can see all these cells are green with a pass sign in them, and that's what you want to be able to upload your spreadsheet. So I can see that if, a cell, it's essentially indicating that if a cell has information in it for some tables, it's making sure that it has it in for all tables. So it only is looking at number of employees, compensation, and tenure, since we know that performance pay, not everyone receives performance pay, so it's not checking that. Now we can see that everything's a pass, but if I was to go back and say, forget to enter my CEO's tenure, and we'll say I put 0 in, and then we look back at the matching check, you're going to see that it's a fail. So where these red fails indicate is indicating that you either forgot information or maybe perhaps put in maybe a couple dashes or characters or anything like that into the spreadsheet, and just encouraging you certainly to take another look. So I know that it was a mistake, so I'm going to go back and enter in her correct tenure, and we'll recheck, and we can see that it's a pass, and we are now good to go and upload. So I'm going to download my spreadsheet, and always be sure to download it as an Excel. You never want to do it as a PDF or anything like that. And it's saved, and I can go into the submission process. So this is the website essentially that'll be used when you get an email on May 8th. You know, like I said, you're going to receive an email with a few different things, the spreadsheet, a link to this site, and some links for you to use that will be unique to your organization. So this is a training site, of course. You can see right at the top, this is a training environment, so it'll look a little bit different, but overall very, very similar on May 8th. So to start, you're going to input your data. There's a few things on the left here that we are measuring by. We want to make sure that you can check against. So you will receive a submission ID and a participation code. You can see it here. You always want to be sure to double check that everything matches within your email, but it is your participation code for your organization. It's unique to your organization. So I know that these are both correct for mine. So I am good to go here. Next is a metric we are looking at, which we looked at firsthand in 2021, but we're excited to broaden it further this year, is industry selection. So I'm in the education industry, so I'll mark that for myself. And we know size of organization. I had 4 employees, so I'm going to click small. And this size of employee, or size of organization, I should say, is full-time and part-time for national. So the spreadsheet was looking at full-time employees in the greater Boston area. This marker right here is just size of your organization overall. And now I'm good to go. So all I have to do is drag and drop my completed file here. So like I said, you know, if you were to do this earlier than May 8th, you know, you felt ready after this video, this is the only part you'll have to do on May 8th when you receive it. So it'll be much, much quicker. So now below, I can see my charts. So it'll essentially just repopulate here, and we can drag over and see all of our categories. And I can see my CEO is listed, my 2 male professionals, and my non-binary sales worker. And I'll just go through the checks below, and we can see that they have auto-filled, and everything so far is looking correct. Then at the bottom, it has another check. So it's that similar totals check as we saw in the spreadsheet. And we can see I have 1 female, 2 male, and 1 non-binary employee, and that's a total of 4. And, you know, you can see below that it says I have not submitted yet, and I can't submit. You know, this is all gray, and I can't do that. So you always want to be sure that you have to verify that all data is correct, and then you can submit. And you'll see below that your submission was successful, and you can close out the window. So that's all you have to do here. And you can see below will be a few contact pages. You can go back to our website. You know, need help immediately, you can reach out to us as well, and some information about our Boston University partners in this work. So a few different things to remember. You know, if I realized after I'd submitted that I forgot an employee, and, you know, somehow I just mistakenly forgot someone, I can re-upload as many times as I would like. All I have to just do is make the change in the spreadsheet. You don't want to ever make the change on this website, and then make the change in the spreadsheet, save it, download as an Excel, and then re-upload. And you can re-upload as many times as you want. It'll just override the previous submission. And these participation codes and submission IDs will just alert the BWC on our side that a submission has happened. We'll receive a timestamp, but since this is encrypted software, we will not receive any information regarding the actual data that you are submitting. It's just going to give us a timestamp that this participation code submitted at this time, and that's how we know, and we can give you a confirmation email as well. So you'll receive that soon after you submit your data. And, you know, just another thing to remember, you want to be sure to always check your websites prior on a company device. This website should load normally if it's, you know, Chrome, Safari, or Firefox, but always a good idea since some organizations have some pretty strong firewalls. So that is everything here. And now I'm just going to go back to this presentation. We can see just some troubleshooting. So like I said, if you realize you make an error after uploading, you can re-upload your spreadsheet as many times as you want. It's just going to override the previous submission, and you want to make that correction in your own spreadsheet, save and re-upload. You don't want to ever make the correct the error in the browser in case any internet problems occur, and you just won't have it in your spreadsheet overall. Now, the yellow warning, we know, is just a reminder to check your data. You're able to upload, but you just want to take another glance to make sure that everything is correct. That red warning or that red fail is an error message, and you won't be able to submit if present anywhere in your spreadsheet. And then a browser check. Visit 100talent.org prior to May 8th on an organization device to make sure you can access the site. And always, always, always make sure you save your spreadsheet with each use and after submission. So just some things to remember. Again, submission window is going to be May 8th through the 22nd. If bandwidth issues are going on, or, everyone's busy this time of year and you think you're going to need more time, please keep us in contact and let us know. You will receive an email with your submission ID and participation code the morning of May 8th from the BWC. And the materials are already available on our website. So bwc.org/data submission resources 2023 includes our data prep guide, which is FAQ guides. You can read through of what to submit and some previous questions we've got in previous years, data submission spreadsheet, which is the spreadsheet I went through today, and then a training video as well. And you can contact us anytime with questions. You can reach us through the team at BWC, but if you would like a immediate answer, we'll be having some calling hours during the month of May from 2 to 4, and you can reach out to our organization here. You can reach out to myself, and my cell phone's listed below, and my colleague Cindy Wen, and her cell phone is listed below for those days as well. So that's everything. And now I will be turning it over. But let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help. We want to make sure this is easy as process as possible. And, if you have any questions, just let us know. We're always here to help. So good luck, everyone. We really appreciate you partnering with us on this. And thank you so much.